Are you tired of being stuck at 600 elo? We've watched countless videos on how to get better at chess, but let's be honest, most of it is just generic advice. Control the center, don't blunder, develop your pieces. It sounds good, but it's just not really that useful. Giving a bunch of generic advice doesn't help anyone. It just wastes time. The viewer's time and the content creator's time. So instead, I'm going to give you a real path to improve step by step. Let's start. First, stop one move blunders. Positions like e4 with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight takes e5 is a blunder because your opponent can take. Again, this is just an example, but you should try to avoid moves like this. Try thinking, if I play this move, what will my opponent play? Will my opponent be happy if I take this pawn? Or if I play a certain move? For example, in this position, your opponent will be happy because they will take your knight. The knight is worth more than the knight is your knight is worth more than this pawn, which was on e5. Therefore, you should try to avoid this. It is completely normal to lose to a 2 or 3 move tactic. For example, in the French defense, if you're playing with black, e4, e6, d4, d5, you play e5, c5, here, 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 here. And then this is a very nice trap over here. You can with bishop d3. And if they take, that's actually a mistake. If they take with the knight, that's actually a mistake because you can take this. And you might say, hey, but you can just take this, right? Well, you can't because it's a check, and this is an amazing move. Because after they play this, takes, and you're just up a full queen. No compensation. Queen, bishop, knight, rook, rook. Bishop, knight, rook, rook. Yeah. Just completely up a queen for like 2 pawns, which is pretty easily winning for you, for your opponent. It's completely fine to lose to such a tactic. That won't lose you that much elo because very few people at below 1000 actually even know such traps. 2. The checks captures attacks checklist. You can use this checklist in while you're attacking. For example, in the Scotch Gambit, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and d4 takes here, bishop c5. Over here, you have a very nice trick is to play c3. And once they take this pawn, that's actually an inaccuracy because you can sacrifice the bishop, which is a brilliancy. Check here, and now you can go queen h5. Once they go g6, you can take. And that's really bad for them, you see. Because, and how did you do this? Because you just found a very nice check over here. Attacking both the bishop and the king. You might say, what is the point of this move? This didn't get me anything. It actually did. It opened up the king. So it will be much easier to attack now. It would be much easier to attack the king now because he can't castle anymore, and it's just genuinely uncomfortable. The point of queen h5 is to continue with the check because it gets you a tempo, which is our next topic. Target your opponent's pieces. Also known as, you can just call it tempo. Tempo works like this. For example, in the Scandinavian defense, takes, and it's kind of bad normally. The engine would say it's bad for black when you're playing Scandinavian because you get a free tempo. This is a tempo. It develops your knight, putting it in a better square, and attacks the queen. Meaning your opponent has to defend or, well, not defend, has to move the queen. And once they move the queen, look at this. You have moved 2 pieces while they have moved this. And that doesn't really help them because your bishop is going to come here. For example, after this move, your bishop's going to come here. And if they just play something normal, this would be another tempo, which is not necessary right now. However, it will in fact be a tempo. and they would have to move the queen back again, which is very uncomfortable for them. Following these steps can easily get you to 1000, maybe 1200 if you follow these consistently. Um, a trick I would like to recommend to get these one by one, you should try to focus on one thing. For example, don't blunder. Don't make one move blunders like this. You can just try to play a normal game of chess. You do not need to apply all of them at once. Applying one of them alone can be a 300 elo up. Slowly, slowly, of course, you need to apply these two. But applying one of them, and then once you have gotten that, you stop blundering, you stop making one move blunders, then you will be able to then you will be able to move on to the checklist, the CCA checklist. Once that is done, it starts to become automatic, subconscious. When you do it on purpose, like maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 games, then it will start to become subconscious. Meaning this video will not immediately get you to 1500 elo, but it will definitely help.